fantastischste und die vritzkete se Eleniko Limani. For those of you in the room who do not understand Greek, imagine, you may want to close your eyes or not, but imagine that you find yourself in a Greek port. We're in Greece. Could be Patras, Piraeus, Heraklion, any other port that you like? Piraeus.
Abriel.
Thessaloniki, you're going up with Thessaloniki. Patra, Alexandroupoli. Pick your port. You are arriving, boarding on a ship. Macaravi, Megalo, big ship. And it's a strange ship. It has no sails, but it's a sail ship. No sail yet. And you are told that you're going to go on this ship in a direction, in a horizon, with a beacon, a lighthouse. You don't really know what this direction is. Maybe you have to decide where the ship will go. And you don't know if there's going to be storms. You know there's going to be storms, especially with the Meltemi. And there's going to be islands, bad islands, with cyclops, sirens, monsters. Maybe there's also a few paradise islands. And so this is a trip that you're going to take on this ship, which is full of mystery, but you're going to build the ship. That's what you're learning. Wow, that is tough. There is good news, though, in this story. There is a fantastic, fantastic crew on the ship. Let me ask the crew of the ship to get up, to show yourself and wave like the wave in the ocean. So crew, please get up, the crew of the ship. Oh my God, I'm seasick. And here we go. Oh, now yes, all the members are waving too. So we are all the crews of this ship, aren't we, Nicolo?
We absolutely are, Calypso. And welcome to all of you. We're discovering this ship that we're in together, which we're going to try to direct together over these days, but also over the coming months. This is not a ship that will only stop in Athens. It will visit other ports and places across Europe and also online, virtual ports. But luckily, we're not alone. Some of us have been working together for some time to get this ship starting to look ready to sail. So that includes Calypso and me. I'm Nicolo Milanese. It also includes the people that you saw stand up in the crew. I'm sure you've noticed that there's people from all around Europe here in this space with us. There's people who've even flown across oceans to be with us from way beyond Europe. People have got different roles that they will play over these days. There's the members of the assembly, which is the most important role. It's your ship. But there's also, as you have seen, people who are helping with welcoming you on the ship. There's going to be plenty of people helping to feed you as we work on the ship together. There are even some people who are observing, have come specifically to observe and make observations about how the ship is working so we can improve it over time. So today we're going to have plenty of time to get to know each other, knowing that we're very diverse, But I want to introduce another important member of the crew. First, that's Yves.
Thank you, Nicolo. Thank you, Calypso. I'm Yves. I'm important because I'm going to talk to you about restrooms and that kind of things. So let me introduce you. It's a pleasure to be with you first, and thank you for having made the journey to here, even if you came just a few kilometers from here. You have a yellow tag if you are from Athens, correct? We have a yellow circle on your code, on your badge. If you have a yellow, you are from Athens. Who is from Athens in the room? Okay.
Greek from Athens. There are two categories from Athens. Yellow stickers, you're Greek from Athens.
So Greek from Athens, please raise your hands.
And how about green stickers, non-Greeks from Athens? Non-Greeks who happen to live in Athens.
So you see that from the history of democracy, we changed the definition of the demos, because 2,500 years ago, it was only the men, citizens from Athens, that was on board. So here we also have people coming from abroad, Greece. So who went from abroad? Who is from another country?
Purple stickers. You have flown in from abroad, purple stickers. And if you don't have your sticker yet, please make sure you have it.
And this is the diversity of the group, so we'll have more times to get used. So in this room, we will speak English and Greek. And we have two wonderful friends for this journey. Virginia. Hello, Virginia. And we have Evangelos, who is the second interpreter. I know they are going to stop interpreting. So if you want to listen to their voice, put your headset, and they will now introduce themselves. So one important thing, that's better, this microphone. If you are uncomfortable with pictures, it's good to sit here. If you're okay with pictures, sit anywhere. Because this is the first time such an assembly gathers in this composition, in this place. So there will be pictures and films, because we are making history together. And it's very important to keep the memory for the rest of the people who are not in this room, and also for the future generations. So this session is going to last probably an extra hour. If you need to go out, just go there. Feel free to do it. If you need the restroom, you need to go down and take a right to go to this room. And for the rest, I'm going to give the floor to Calypso, who will introduce our guests that will start the day with you. And we plan to have maybe two more things. That's true, Calypso. We would like to identify who are the 5 youngest person in this room.
Excellent.
The 5 youngest person in this room. So if you feel that you are the 5 youngest person in the room, stand up. And Calypso will go to you with a microphone. The 5 youngest. Okay, we have 5, we will see. So, Calypso. And then you can expect the next question.
So, we're going to spend a few minutes in this democratic odyssey by having having each other welcome each other, to really have a sense of who you are, where you're coming from. And we'll have this more and more. So let's try to figure it out a bit. So you are the 5 youngest. Maybe we'll figure out who the youngest is, 17? And you 60? No, you are
23, 24.
90.
When you speak, give your first name.
Ciprian Ionescu, I'm 19 years old.
21, Cosmas Catrun.
No last name, only first name. We're family here.
I'm Aya and I'm 21.
So we have a young crowd.
Wait.
And tell us where you're from.
Wait, Calypso.
Yeah,
Where you from?
I'm from Czechia.
Down. I remember.
I'm 18.
Huh? You're the youngest?
You're the youngest. Now, who is 18?
Thank you. Okay, so Czechia.
Wait one.
So let's look at this slide here, just for a moment. You
So
can
my
see-
name is, sorry.
We have one.
So my name is Leon. I'm coming from Croatia and I'm 18 years old.
Another young, wonderful.
Thank you, welcome.
Attends, laisse-moi du temps. So, how about you see others, if you're coming from one of these 29 countries and you're flying in here in Athens, can we have a few hands
If you-
and you should have a purple buttons.
Who is from Estonia? Okay, please. You're probably
Okay, your name?
from one end of Europe.
Hello everyone, I'm Emily.
Stand up, please. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm originally Finnish, but I live in Estonia.
Scandinavia, you all circulate together. They'll come from Estonia, a difficult part of the world these days. Anyone else who wants to introduce themselves from one of these many countries that you're all coming from?
Hi, I'm Maria. I'm Spanish. I live in UK.
You are?
Spanish,
Spanish.
and living in UK. Welcome. So we have it's good that UK is on board of this assembly to recompose Europe in its wholeness. We also have someone from Turkey. Who is from Turkey? Not in the room. Do I see Andres?
Please stand up.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Sandra. I come from Malta.
Malta.
One of
Welcome.
the smallest countries in Europe, but a very important one indeed. Maybe one of the islands that our ship will stop at. And other purple buttons from one of these countries.
Who traveled more
Who
than
have been
6 hours?
flying-
Who traveled more than 6 hours to come here? More than 6 hours trip. Where? Thank you for helping me. That's
Yes.
important. That's a
Go
clue.
on.
Come and introduce yourself. Yes? Okay. Please.
Hello, everybody. My name is Joran, and I live in. Hello, everybody. My name is Joran, and I live in Sweden. And my travel here was around 8 hours.
Oh.
That's probably
Anyone
You are a
else who
champion.
traveled many
Thank you.
hours to get
Welcome.
here? Bravo.
8 hours.
Anyone else here who traveled to Greece? Who traveled 2, 3, 4 hours from any of these countries? Don't be shy.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yes, one last
Okay,
intervention.
so I'm Pavel. I'm come from Poland.
Where in Poland?
Welcome. I don't know, is anybody here from Poland as well?
Is there other
Raise your
people from
hands.
Poland?
Seems that I'm alone.
You're the only one.
Poland is not that close to Athens, huh? Okay.
Welcome.
Okay, so we have a second slide up. As you can see, it's changed colors. It changed colors. I think you, okay? It's green now, and you have to see if you have a green button. Now that's a different story if you have a green button. You're also not a Greek. You're not Greek, but you happen to live here in not only Athens, but the whole region of Attica. Can we have some hands up? Names, who is in the green category? And you can see that we have Europeans, members of the EU, and you have many of you who we call global citizens, and you live in Athens. So global citizens and non-Greek Europeans in Athens, please raise your hand very high. So can we have a roaming mic? Can we have a roaming mic? So please give the floor to one of our friends here. Please, yes. Please you say your name and where you come from.
I'm Samsidin Idrisu, and I'm from Ghana.
From Ghana.
Anything else?
Okay. Thank you. Beautiful country. Somebody else.
Hi, my name is Christian. I'm from Albania.
From?
I'm from Albania.
Albania, yes. Neighbor, close neighbor and close friend. Many Albanian friends.
My name is Donald, and I'm from Nigeria.
Welcome. Anyone else from outside? Yes, here? Here?
Hello, my name is Ionella, and I'm from Albania, and I live in Greece 25 years.
Ah, a very close friend. We have other names here.
Hello, I'm Maria. I'm Polish, but living here in Greece for many, many years.
Polish-Greek friendship. And there's a lady over there.
Γεια σας, με λένε Ελένη και εγώ είμαι από την Ουκρανία.
Ukraine. Ukraine. We will speak of Ukraine. There's a lady here, over there.
Hello, I am Shugufta Ghaffar. I'm from Pakistan, live in Greece, live in Italy previous 3 years.
Pakistan. Alexander the Great reached Pakistan, huh? And now we have a third category, but before that, please introduce yourself.
Γεια σας. Είμαι ο Βασίλης. Ζω και εργάζομαι στην Ελλάδα τα τελευταία 30 χρόνια. Είμαι από την Αλβανία.
Albania. Oreo, from Albania. We have a last category, last but not least, Max, last but not least, we have those in the room who are Greeks from Athens and from Attica. Can you raise your hand? Right. There are many of you, and we're going to hear everyone in a minute, but we have started late. So I think we must move on. But Greek friends, please note each other, because in a few minutes, we will ask you to introduce yourselves to each other. So this moment, and asking which color is your name tag, is very important. But before we get there, we want to introduce 3 very important friends, crucial friends of this assembly, 3 political leaders in Greece who actually represent our addressees. In part, we speak to each other, but we also speak to decision makers. And they've come here to explain to us, the 3 of them, why we are important, why an assembly like ours is crucial to what they do. We have with us Christina Kefalogiannis, who, as you all know, and you have a picture here of Attica, she's the deputy governor of Attica, of this broader region, 5 million inhabitants, and she's very much in charge of a lot of what we're talking about. So thank you for being here, Christina. We have Dimitri Kerides, who is, as many of the Greeks in this room know, just former Minister of Migration and represents Greece in NATO and European affairs, represents the current government. Thank you for being here. And we have Nikos Christolle, who is our deputy mayor, represents the municipality here and the mayor, and who deals with issues like climate change for the municipality. And so we want to start right away by asking you if you can come and perhaps come and speak to the assembly, and the three of you, because we'll have a conversation. And that conversation starts with a question, which is the same question everyone in this room is asking. You know, why are we here? Why are you here? Why does this assembly matter to you? Christina, Dimitri, Nico. And we have 15 minutes, so we're talking.
Okay, I'll just get the formalities out of the way. As you heard, I am Christina Kefalogianni. I am the Deputy Governor of Attica. And on behalf of the Governor, Mr. Nikonos Chardalias, I would like to welcome you to this first People's Assembly, European People's Assembly. And I would like to state that we are very happy to have aided in the realization of the Democratic Odyssey project. And we are very interested in finding out what the results of these days of conversation, deliberation, and interaction will actually have to produce. We are actually looking forward to having develop a coalition with similar endeavors that actually give the voice to the people in order for us to actually be able to make decisions much more in tune with what the people want to see from their policymakers. So,
thank you, Christina. And I think the Assembly is looking forward to the conversation with you, Dimitri.
I'm here first and foremost because I'm a dear friend of Calypso, and I've known her for 30 years. So I'm delighted and honored to be part of this first endeavor of your Odyssey. I'm a member of Parliament. First, allow me to say that you are in Athens, which is the birthplace of democracy, obviously, where the whole world was invented, and the system of power from the people, by the people, and for the people was first founded. Now, Athenian democracy, classical democracy, was direct democracy. Modern democracy, the way that we've known it from Britain, America, France, and the rest, is a representative democracy, a very well institutionalized system, basically based on Montesquieu. And it has been ever since. However, there is no doubt that this system of democracy, as we've known it for the last 2-3 centuries, is in crisis and needs to be reinvigorated. Although I am a conservative and I come from the center-right, from the ruling party, and I have been quite skeptical in all the discussions that we have had in the past with Calypso, I am more and more convinced that we need innovative thinking in this age and state of crisis. Now, democracy has been through crisis in the past, and a lot of thinkers might think of it as a cyclical situation. However, there are the pessimists who think that something more profound and difficult is happening right now, and that we citizens need to take action. And these kind of groupings that we have tried with the Conference on the Future of Europe, which was a Macron idea that was taken over by Ursula von der Leyen, and we worked on it 2 years ago, and I was the head of the Greek delegation there. This kind of randomly selected people's representative from all strata without the restrictions and difficulties of a representative democracy, I think have a very important role to play. We have not thought enough of the crisis. We have not thought enough of what internet is doing to citizens today and how the algorithm is influencing our thinking and reproduces stereotypes and echo chambers and closes the democratic conversation, and how much we need to overcome this new technology that is so detrimental, can be beneficial, but also so detrimental to our democratic discourse through this kind of endeavor. So I want to thank and congratulate you, the organizers, and all of you for making the effort to participate, especially those who came from far away, away from Athens, from the rest of the world, and wish a very, very successful first endeavor. I suppose this is an odyssey, so this is the first port, and there will be many, many more ports going on around. It couldn't but be Athens, I suppose, and we are very proud of that tradition. So I thank the organizers and wish all of you very good luck. And we will be here to be of support. Even we conservatives can be idealistic sometimes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It is also, of course, very meaningful to start this Odyssey in Athens. And thank you for hosting. And we will come back with one question that we have for the three of you. So now I give the floor to Mr. Nikos Chrysogelos, who is Deputy Mayor in charge of climate in particular. So how do you see that kind of adventure from your seat of elected official?
I will try to use both languages. I will speak a little bit Greek. I will move to English and then back to Greek. So I think this is important because we have people from many different cultures, countries and continents. Θα ήθελα να σας χαιρετήσω εκ μέρους του Δημάρχου Αθηναίων, του κ. Δούκα, και προφανώς από την πρώτη στιγμή υποστήριξε αυτή τη συνάντηση. I will also welcome as an activist, as a deputy mayor. I feel I am a member of Demos, what we call Demos society. I'm now also elected as a deputy mayor of the municipality. So you understand the connection between Demos and municipality. In the past, more or less, it was very close. But now we have to refresh the idea of democracy, of Demos. It's not only about voting every 5 or 3 years, but also to take the people on the board. Θέλουμε να ανανεώσουμε τη δημοκρατία. Δεν πρέπει να μένουμε απλώς στην έννοια ότι εδώ γεννήθηκε η δημοκρατία, αλλά θέλουμε να δώσουμε ένα νέο περιεχόμενο και η Δημοτική Αρχή έχει δεσμευτεί γι' αυτό στις πολιτικές που σχεδιάζει, να συνομιλεί με τους πολίτες και να τους δίνει τη δυνατότητα να συναπφασίζουν. This is why also concerning my duty on climate governance, to include the civil society, the representatives of different stakeholders in a climate forum, but also to give the floor direct to the young generation, because if you are fair, we know that the young generation is excluded from democracy. Okay, we call them to vote every some years, 4 or 5, but during the daily life, the decisions taken are excluded, but they will suffer from the decisions of our generations. So, είναι πολύ σημαντικό οι θεσμοί όπως αυτοί που δημιουργείται εδώ ή έχουν γίνει σε ευρωπαϊκό επίπεδο για την αλλαγή των συνθηκών ή για το μέλλον της Ευρώπης κλπ. Να αποκτήσουν περιεχόμενο και θεσμικά να μπορούν να επηρεάζουν τις εξελίξεις. Δηλαδή, θυμάμαι τη συζήτηση γιατί ήμουν και ευρωβουλευτής για 2,5 χρόνια. Υπήρχε πολύ μεγάλη συζήτηση, ελπίζω να ανανεωθεί, μαζί με τα κοινοβούλια, με τις κυβερνήσεις και οι πολίτες απευθείας, να μπορούν να επηρεάσουν τις συνθήκες, το μέλλον της Ευρώπης. Δεν μπορούν να φασίζονται όλα αυτά τα πράγματα χωρίς τη συμμετοχή των πολιτών στο όνομα των πολιτών. Και γι' αυτό είναι πάρα πολύ ενδιαφέρουσα η πρωτοβουλία η δικιά σας εδώ, η συνάντηση. Δυστυχώς δεν μπορώ να παρακολουθήσω. I cannot follow all the discussions because a lot of meetings I have to speak there. But I will try to be during the evening meeting and we can discuss there. And I hope I will accompany the group on Sunday.
Yes, we will be in a very special place
It's
Sunday.
also a very symbolic place.
We will come back on it.
Yes.
Thank you. So I have one question for the three of you. So very important so Nikos represents the city, which is one, and the civil society, which is one layer. Christina represents the region, and Dimitri represents the state and the international level. And in fact, symbolically, it's very important that you are, the three of you here, because at the end of the process, your say, your recommendations, your vision will be shared with all the level of powers. And so your presence here is in fact the representation of the different layers of power that this People's Assembly will talk to, including also civil society, which is very important, and the private sector, who has a role to play. So my last question before we go to the next session, if you can stand up, the three of you. So you spoke, Dimitri, about the crisis of democracy, the mistrust, and in fact, you that are in the governments where you are also citizens like each of us. Of course, there is a oneness. There is no you and us here. But do you think that the system is ready to go to the next stage and be more inclusive and engage a new form of democracy? Why do you see the system, and where do you see the main difficulty to go to the next level, if I may say? So maybe we go in the other direction and we start with you. Yes.
I think we have to refresh the idea of democracy, and sure, the system is not ready to follow new ideas about democracy. Okay, we have to try and to influence the political decision taken. This is very important. What we can do at the local level is to make this distance, this gap, small. And this is why my personal commitment is to include all the people in the discussion, either for climate issues or social justice or civil protection. This is very important. So it means that at least all the people they stay in Athens, they are welcome to participate in this climate forum and assembly at the level of neighborhoods. And of course, the young persons, this is very important. We want to have something like an assembly of 2,000 young people. They live here and co-design and co-decide about their future.
Thank you. So you're ready, and this is an invitation. Yes. So Christina, how do you see the present situation?
First of all, what I wanted to point out is like 2/3 of the people that are here at the assemblies actually live in the region that we are making the decisions, and we are going to be here for them in the next 4 years. The problem with democracy, I think everybody, either they are in politics and represent people, or they're citizens and just watch events evolving. Everybody knows that we have a crisis, and it is actually depicted from the way that people actually nowadays participate in any democratic procedure. Either elections, local elections, national elections, any type of democratic procedure. I think that most of the main problem for me has to do with trust. And the further the people feel that they are from the centers of decision, this is what might make them become less and less inclined to get involved. So this is actually what Eve said before. You are actually making history probably in these next few days, because what you will conclude from your assemblies, your deliberations, is going to be something that we can actually use afterwards to see how to incline more people to participate.
And thank you. This topic of trust is, of course, in the center of the political process now, and within this group as well. This is something that we're going to talk about immediately. Thank you very much. And the last word.
Okay. I might operate on the national, international level, as you said, compared to the local and the regional, but we all prefer one simple thing, which is the citizen. I mean, the people. This is the concrete. Everything else is abstractions. And we need to go back to the citizens, and we all get elected by the citizens to serve the citizens. Now, obviously, the debate about the crisis of democracy is very big, and there are many different factors, including economic inequalities, etc. But I wanted to point out to the breakdown of the original model because of the internet and because of the algorithm that traps us and makes us read and reinforce our own prejudices instead of deliberating openly. We need to break away from the chains of the algorithm. We need to break away from this very destructive power the last 10 years, and we've seen already the results, which is polarization, and we need to start talking to each other more from different cohorts. So this kind of homogenization, polarization, and lack of deliberation, I think is very destructive. And anything that can overcome it is useful, including this type of direct assemblies, in order to have informed citizens. Because our democracies are what the citizens are. I mean, this is it. And without informed and deliberative, open-minded citizens, we have a closed-minded democracy. Thank you.
But thank you to remind us that democracy is an issue of dialogue, and this happens in the real space. This is why we meet during 3 days. It does not happen in 2 minutes on an algorithm-managed social network. So this is why we have invited you, that of course it's more costly to be here together than to put a sentence on a social network, but to agree in this complex world, as you mentioned, if we have different layers of institutions, because the world is complex, and this is what we are going to address. And in this complexity, we are 8 billion people on the planet. We need to be together on the planet, and we need to take time to discuss about that, and this is what we are going to do. So thank you to the three of you for this great introduction and your invitation to receive the production of the group, to interact with your group. And as each of you is connected with other institutions, please talk about this People's Assembly and make aware your colleagues from all over the world that this exists and it can be useful. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Bon voyage.
Thank you for the journey.
You are invited to stay with us for a moment and to help us invite everyone. Dimitri mentioned that we're here to meet each other. Now you will meet each other again and again in different sizes of groups. What we want to suggest now, if you're agreed with us, is to invite all of you living in Athens, whether you are Greek living in Athens or non-Greeks living in Athens, non-Europeans living in Athens, to meet up with your companion or your buddy system from someone who has flown in. They will need you. This is called Greek hospitality, isn't it, Christina? And you will also tell them the way when we're going places. They might ask for the best place to have ice cream. So you have a responsibility, and that is to welcome our fellow citizens, our fellow people from abroad.
So you have 5 minutes, group of 3.
Yes, group of 3. So you need to create a group of 3 for 5 minutes. Just say hello and note that this is your person. So you need to find 2 other persons
that
who do not have the same color as you. The purple, so green, purple, yellow. Yellow are the Greeks from Athens. So please get up. Please all get up. Groups of 3.
So let's do it. 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. You were great. ce qui nous manque. On a un petit film d'abord.
Hi, I'm Simon Saunders. I'm Hi, I'm Simon Saunders. I'm a philosopher from Oxford.
I'm Ulrike and I'm from Germany, living in Fiesole, Florence.
My name is Michele Fiorillo. I come from Verona and Lecce.
Hi, my name is Honora and I'm from Ireland.
Calypso from Greece, France and Britain.
Hi, I'm Jamie. I'm from the UK.
My name is Uri. I live in Italy.
Ich bin Max aus Deutschland.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Camille, je suis française, je viens de Strasbourg.
Hi, I'm Irina and I come from Argentina.
Hi, my name's Jack. I'm from the UK.
Sono Christian e sono italiano.
Ik ben Paul Blokker, ik ben Nederlands, maar ik woon al 25 jaar in Florence, in Italië.
Είμαι η Μυρτώ και είμαι από την Αθήνα στην Ελλάδα.
Hello, my name is Diana. I'm Russian-Armenian, based in Italy.
Hi, my name is Amy. I'm from the Netherlands.
My name is Berta Mijé. I'm Hungarian.
I'm Nolga. I'm European and American.
Hi, my name's Tony Seeley and I'm living in London at the moment and I'm a creative artist.
I'm Yves from Brussels, Belgium.
Antoine de Paris.
My name is Charles from France.
I'm Niccolo Milanese. I'm part of the Democratic Odyssey to help make the first transnational institution made by and for the people.
I joined the Democratic Odyssey to give people a stronger voice in Europe.
I think that politics is not about competency or skills.
Parce que je crois profondément qu'il faut faire avancer l'idée que les citoyens doivent pouvoir et ont la capacité de dire et de s'exprimer.
I joined the Odyssey because I want to be a good ancestor, not for my grandchildren, but for the people who will live on the planet in 200 years.
I joined the Democratic Odyssey because I believe we need renewal in the way we do politics and in the way in which we are involved in them.
The reason why I've joined the Democratic Odyssey is because I believe that collectively we can make a change through arts, and the arts have a powerful way of bringing a message.
I joined the Democratic Odyssey because I'm very opinionated and I want the EU to listen to citizens' opinions more so I can speak more.
I joined the Democratic Odyssey because I want to contribute to inclusive and empowering dialogue.
I joined Democratic Odyssey because I believe that art and music in particular can be a deliberative collective action.
Έχω συμβάλει στην προσπάθεια του Democratic Odyssey, της Δημοκρατικής Οδύσσης, γιατί πιστεύω ότι η δημοκρατία πιέζεται τον τελευταίο καιρό και πρέπει όλοι να κάνουμε κάτι γι' αυτό.
Ik ben bij de Democratische Odyssey gegaan omdat ik zeer veel hecht aan de democratie. En volgens mij zien we de democratie steeds meer achteruit gaan. En in mijn ogen moeten mensen zelf opstaan voor de democratie. En de Odyssey is precies een beweging om van onderaf de democratie weer een nieuwe impuls te geven.
Ho deciso di essere nella Democratic Odyssey perché voglio cercare di dare più spazio ai cittadini per cambiare e influenzare la politica europea dal basso.
I joined the Democratic Odyssey because I want to make politics more accountable to people.
I joined the Democratic Odyssey because I believe in the transformative power of dialogue.
Pourquoi rejoindre l'Odyssée? En réalité, il y a certainement plus de raisons de ne pas la rejoindre. Alors je dirais pourquoi pas? Why not?
Damit die Bürgerinnen in Europa eine lautere Stimme bekommen.
I don't know. The wind brought me.
I decided to join the Democratic Odyssey because Europe deserves better than short-term party political interests.
And I joined the Democratic Odyssey because I think citizens should be listened to and heard.
I joined the Democratic Odyssey because I believe we really need to develop an integration of representative democracy through new instruments of deliberative democracy like an European Citizen Assembly.
And I have joined the Democratic Odyssey because I find it so important to rejuvenate this old saga with young people of today, of the 21st century.
I only just joined Democratic Odyssey. I think it was only 10 seconds ago.
I imagined the Democratic Odyssey as a flotilla, connecting people across borders thanks to the waves of deliberation and collective intelligence and imagination.
What day are we? March 2020.
2020, and we're all stuck inside our houses. We're all stuck inside our houses, and it's better to have the microphone unmuted if you want to be able to speak with your friends via Zoom, like we're currently doing, Calypso. I'm so depressed. We're all stuck here. We don't know what the future of our society is going to be like, or when we'll be able to see each other anytime soon.
And I feel like we should do something. I don't know about you guys. I feel like just so depressed. Now we are out of COVID, but before that there was just so many things. I feel so powerless. Like, should we do something about this together?
And it feels like the question of who's taking decisions about how this crisis is dealt with is really unclear. And so I worry about what's going to happen to our politics, to our democracy.
And we're going to get used to being all alone in our house, just with our family, when we should be a society fighting together this thing called COVID.
So it really feels like we should do something, friends. But what are we gonna try and do to try and influence this situation? I mean, going outside and protesting is a difficult option.
We could publish things on the internet. We could start blogs, magazines, something like that, Nicola.
Not everybody has internet, Jamie. But if we publish something, we need to publish something physical, like a pamphlet or a flyer that you could give people outside the shops, for example.
But we need to do this. Who are we to do this? How about bringing people together, making a plan for after COVID? That somehow people come back together and think together in a better way. An assembly of citizens.
Yeah, an assembly sounds good. It's the moment we're all together, physically together again, as well as virtually online. So let's make an assembly.
But hold on, a citizens' assembly? I'm not sure that the word citizens is really what we want, because let's be realistic. Let's look around. Let's look at our neighbors here in this room. Not everyone actually has the privilege of being a citizen. Because we live in different countries, because we hold different nationalities, citizenship is actually a privilege. So how about a people's assembly?
Let's agree on a people's assembly.
People's assembly, but I mean, hang on, which people are we talking about? Is it people just who live near here? People in my country where I currently am? Shouldn't we really find a way of including people from across countries? After all, this crisis we're in the middle of is affecting people right across Europe, right, well beyond Europe even.
I like to think, Nicolo and Ophélie, really, that the soul of Europe, the heart of Europe, is in its periphery, in the small countries, in the Maltas of Europe, in the Cretes of Europe, in the Portugals of Europe. So yes, we need to include everyone, and beyond these countries at the periphery, the rest of the world. After all, Europa, the princess, she was from Lebanon, she was from the Middle East, and she's our refugee in chief. So our assembly should include as many as we can.
So what about that then? A people's assembly not only limited to citizens, but to everyone living in Europe, but that is traveling, right? Traveling from one periphery to another, so not bound to one single place.
Yeah, come on, Europe is not Brussels.
Yeah.
Well, that's for sure. And the point of the peripheries is important when we think of the edges of Europe, but we've got to bear in mind that people can be peripheral, they can be on the edges, even in big cities or in our countries, in the countryside. So we've got to find ways of bringing people from across the territory into this traveling assembly, right?
I mean, you know, you do an assembly and everyone is there, everyone believes in it, and at the end, it stops. I think it's quite violent. Of course, our assembly, it needs to be transnational, but maybe it could also be permanent.
So a transnational people's permanent assembly. Wow, that's long. Perhaps we need a shorter name to call our project, no?
Well, friends, isn't there a name of a journey that somehow is taken? We never know when it will end, and it will be very difficult, and there will be storms and difficulties along the way.
A nightmare.
It was a nightmare for Ulysses, right? The Odyssey. We're talking about a democratic odyssey. And the thing is, when you do an assembly, politicians listen maybe for a day or two, and they can let us do and then they do their own thing. What about an assembly that is an odyssey, which tells them that it will not go away, that all the members of the assembly will stay members, let's say for a year, then there will be new members, but the members will stay on the ship. What do you think?
Calypso, yeah, I love the name Odyssey. It's very, symbols are important in these kinds of journeys, but let's also get concrete here. I mean, where are we going to do this Odyssey? There's a lot of Greek stuff going on. Athens is a pretty wonderful place. My vote is that we do the opening session in Athens, because of course, our assembly is trying to tackle the big issues of our times. And if we think about Greece over the past 10, 12 years, the experience of profound crisis that people in Athens and Greece went through with austerity, with the sovereign debt crisis, facing high costs of living, there was an intense degree of suffering. Remember when we were all, so some of us were around in Europe holding flags saying, "We are all Greeks."
Not worshipping ancient Greeks, Jamie.
Absolutely, I'm glad to hear that, Calypso. I mean, look, I love all the Citizens' Assembly stuff. This all sounds like a pretty amazing idea from where I'm sitting, but one of the big problems you face is, right, do they really make a difference if they're just happening in small rooms or big rooms? Politicians maybe listen, sometimes they don't listen. I think one of the things we've got to do with this democratic odyssey is get out there in the streets, get to the piazza, and get a broader public involved in this conversation. Something like a festival, musicians, let's get a stage up, let's get some food together so we can all enjoy meeting each other. Because if this thing's going to work, we need to be building a movement, right? Something where a big, broader public from the little selection of citizens who happen to be in the room can really get involved.
Yeah, that's a good point, Jamie. It's true. I was also thinking, listening to you, oh, that all sounds very nice, but how can we make sure that it serves actually what it's supposed to do and have an impact? So, if we have an assembly, what role should we give to the politicians in it, for example? It's quite clear that citizens are at the center But should we actually include policymakers?
Look, I think, Camille, that those who are willing to embark on the journey with us should be welcome, but not with any particular privilege, perhaps just with different experiences. And the experience of politicians could be very important over these years. After all, I'm pretty sure it's tough for them as well, living through the crisis. There's a lot we can learn. And many of those people might think after this crisis, hey, we should probably do things a bit differently. So I think that those who are of good faith need to be included on the journey. But of course, we need to remember, and that's one of the meanings of an odyssey, I think it's a good reason to name it like that there's always the possibility of the winds turning against us, or of members of the crew not turning out to be who we thought they were. So we need to be constantly vigilant, reinforce trust inside the assembly, but also accountability, I would say.
I think when we speak about inclusion, there is, of course, the fact that we will welcome people to the assembly or not, but I think there is also an extra layer, which is how we welcome people in the assembly. Is it just about like technical discourse, about technical informations, or is it also about welcoming people's emotions? And I think welcoming people's emotions is key, and it should be done through art.
Yeah, this is such a better idea than my original pamphlet idea. So let me sum up. A people's assembly, transnational, that is traveling across Europe, so it's itinerant. It starts in Athens and it's called the Odyssey because Greek history and the need to keep inventing democracy moving forward. And of course, we want to include arts, we want to include politicians and be inclusive with certain limit. I agree with you on that. That sounds all super nice, but now I challenge you. Concretely, now imagine, we are 4 years from now, in 2024, we are in Athens, in front of 200 people. We are there, it's D-Day. What do you say to these people?
Well, here we were, transporting you back to 2020 when we started talking about this as friends. And you are here, and we are here. And that was the story that we tried to tell you in this little moment. Welcome to the Democratic Odyssey. Welcome, everyone. And now Max, member of the crew, we want to tell you what's going to happen today and in the next 3 days since we made it in our transnational traveling assembly starting here.
So, we went from a small group of people speaking via Zoom, by telephone, to a much bigger group of people here in Athens. Still, Eve is showing me the best way to speak into the microphone 4 years later. I'm very grateful. The first thing we probably should do, if we're gathering such a big group of people, each with their differences, each with their individuality, is to try to go precisely from being individuals to becoming a group. So the main purpose of today's session, in addition to introduce you, is to try to move from the I. That's one of the storms of the Odyssey you can hear behind me. The atmospherics. Look out for the rain through the ceiling, then we have a problem. So today we try to go from the I to the we. So we create a group between us, a kind of shared mission. So several activities today to do that, and then this evening, very important for going from individuality to collectivity, we have a social moment and a dinner together. And we try to keep these social moments an important part of the Odyssey all the way through. Then, on day 2, tomorrow, if we can change the slide, we are going to be in the heart of deliberation, of talking with each other, of thinking together about how is it we can deal with future crises. So we call it democracy in the eye of the storm. How can we imagine that in the future, something like a People's Assembly could help in managing crisis? Do you want to say some more words about that now? So you see there are 2 sessions, one in the morning more about our experiences of different kinds of crisis, one in the afternoon about imagining the future and how could we do things differently. By the end of the day, we'll try to formulate some ideas, some messages about how things could be done differently. And in the evening, something that you heard was important to us right from the beginning, we'll have a kind of festival. Because we also want to include people who are not in the room. We want to try and engage people who are outside of the room in all of our discussions. And so from 8 until late, hopefully not too late because there's still Sunday, but still, we will have a democracy festival. And then on Sunday, how's the slide doing? Sunday is arriving, there we go. We're of course going to talk about what is going to come next. Because this, as you've understood, is the beginning of the Odyssey in the first port, but the journey will go onwards. Eve is still showing me how to manage the microphone. So by midday on Sunday, we will have some things that we want to carry forward from our work here together in Athens onto the next stops of the Odyssey. And we'll be doing that in a very symbolic place outside. Is there more we want to say about the agenda?
No, we can say that we have introduced complexity because every activity will happen in a different place. So don't come back here. It's just this afternoon. This evening, it's another place. Tomorrow, it's another place. Tomorrow evening, it's not far away from here. And Sunday morning, it is there. So we're going to explore Athens all together for those who are not from Athens. And you have all the information. You know, you just take a picture of the QR code that you have on your badge. So, sorry. If you put your phone on that, you will access immediately the website and you have all the information to make sure that you find the right place. So thank you, Nicolo. I think that it is, it's important for you to know that this travel from the I to we to the end, what's next, what will be the next steps for the Assembly is of course something that we have prepared and we have an idea of the trajectory, but now the content is yours. It's also interesting to know, because it will happen after Sunday, that already this Tuesday, the result of what you have done will be discussed during the Athens Democracy Forum, which is a gathering, it's a summit of politicians from all over the planet that meet in Athens, and we will have 2 sessions dedicated to presenting the Democratic Odyssey and presenting the result of it. And one of you will join us in this presentation next Tuesday. So we had the president of the forum, Achilles, who was with us earlier, but I think he's now with the media to give an interview. And it's very important for us in this travel to interact with decision makers. And the first interaction will happen on Tuesday morning. So you can be assured that we will make all what is possible to make this connection between you and decision makers. So.
Thanks, Yves. And indeed, over the coming weeks and months, the idea is that you, as members of this People's Assembly, will speak to many different audiences. Some of those things we'll be able to organize or find opportunities. Some of the opportunities you might create yourself to speak on behalf of the Assembly. You should really claim this as your Assembly that you are part of, and you can speak on behalf of. I want to just, before we say something about what we're doing next right now, I want to say a couple of general things about how we are together when we're together, because we're all in this ship traveling. It's very important that we all respect each other, that we listen to each other, that we appreciate that people are coming with different personal histories and experiences and different languages. So we need to accommodate this in the way we speak with each other. It's very important that everybody feels safe when they're in this space together. And so if anyone has any concerns about their safety, they can of course come to any one of the facilitators, but there's also a dedicated safety person, Bessie, who is sitting just outside on that side. They have a scarf around their neck. You can, if you want, discuss anything with them, and also feel free to, if you need to step outside or take a minute for yourself at any time during the proceedings. That is absolutely fine. It's important that everybody feels comfortable and safe. So with those basic considerations in mind, I think we can talk about what we're doing next. I hope so.
And we know that many of you are thinking, when is the coffee coming? It is coming, promise. But we never want you to listen to us for too long. So now we're going to start thinking about our experience of crisis, many crises, difficult moments. And to do that, we would like to invite you to speak to your neighbor. One person, don't get up, just stay seated for 5 minutes, just you speak to each other. 5-10 minutes, just share maybe your most important experience or an experience you want to talk about. And it can be any crisis. And so we invite you to do this. Once this has happened, we're going to slowly move towards the outside, downstairs, where two things will happen. I'm coming to the coffee, don't worry. Two things will happen there. On one side, there's coffee that's already laid out, and on the other side, there is something called the tapestry sale. And you can pick up your coffee, do the sale. Now, we will tell you how this works in a few minutes after you speak a bit with your neighbor. Please stay seated and feel free to speak.
So we're going to introduce a system, which I often use in assemblies, that works like wonders, so I'm sure we can make this work too, which is the silent giraffe. Who is familiar with the silent giraffe? Not so much? Yes, a bit? The silent giraffe. So you know this animal, this very long neck animal. Beautiful, with beautiful stains on it. So that's the silent giraffe. If I do the silent giraffe and my friend sees me doing the silent giraffe, he's gonna do the silent giraffe as well. And in turn, Camille is gonna do the silent giraffe, and Ulrike is gonna do the silent giraffe as well. And Irina, and so on. And that's how we know that we should make silence just for a few minutes to listen to each other. Sounds like a good system? Yes? Wonderful. Let's try. Amazing. So many beautiful silent giraffes. Thank you very much. So now I leave you with Uri.
Yes. Welcome. So we are on an odyssey. We're going out to sea. What do we need going out to sea? It's not a rhetorical question. A boat, a ship, there's a lot of people here, or many boats, a flotilla. What do we need for the boats? What do we need for the boats? The sails, yes. So we need sails for our boat. And we brought wonderful fabric from Florence, from Firenze. Yeah? Textile, high quality sails. Yeah. But what do we do with those sails? How do we design those sails? What do we paint? The ancient Greek painted eyes and gods and Poseidon. Crusaders painted crosses, Vikings, animals. What do we put on our sails? What will guide us? What is our motto? What is a motto? That's not a rhetorical question as well. What is a motto? I think it's a Greek word, right?
In our meetings online, Zoom meetings, you already came up with very great ideas. What you think is important, interesting about this journey, the Democratic Odyssey, what brought you on this ship in this journey. And so starting to reflect and to remember what you think is most important, each of you will contribute ideas and mottos, but then in little groups of 15, you will get a coffee, and then gather with the facilitator who helps a bit, coordinate, but then come up and discuss and exchange on your ideas, a joint motto, and then propose to put this on the sails. Different mottos for different kinds of...
Yeah, so the motto is our guide, is what will give our sails. What do sails do? Sails give us power to move on, but they also can give us stability to our boat. They can also help us direct. There are sails that direct. There is square sails, there is triangle sails, there is all sorts of sails. Yeah? And we need all of them, and we need to design them together. So in this creative break, we are going to gather. This is the sails. Tomorrow we are going to start working on them. Today we're creating a mock-up model, and we have the facilitators. Please, the facilitators, you can stand up. All the facilitators of the Democratic Odyssey, just stand up. Yes. So I'm going to call you one by one, and then people here, you will stand up, no more than 15 for one, that you choose the one you like. The people, yes, yes. So Tony, you're a facilitator. So Tony is a facilitator, and you can know it because he's tall. No, because he has white papers, and he have a color. So who wants to draw a sail with Tony, and I need 10, maximum 15 to stand up. And what I want to invite you is to challenge you. I want to see people from different parts of the room, okay? So we can mix a bit. So, yes.
So I'm going to test out my motto on this small bit of paper first.
Yes. So each of us needs their own motto, right? So we're just before going, you'll think about your own motto and you can draw or write your motto. What is our guiding principle? So Tony, what's your motto?
The wind will take me wherever I want to go.
The wind will take me where I want to go. And we're making a collective motto. So how can it be the motto for our assembly?
The wind will take us wherever we want to go.
Okay, so this is one idea. Okay, the wind will take us to where we want to go. But then 10 people or 15 people will join Tony and they need to decide together. So my motto is different. So together we need to discuss. How do we do it? I don't know.
We have a conversation.
We have a conversation.
Yeah.
Or fight.
Well.
No, not fighting. No. Well, so this is the drawing. This is the facilitators. So I'm going to say just that we know who we are with. Who wants to be with Tony? Stand up. And I want to see different people standing up in different parts. Tony, 10, 1, 2, 3. So at least 10 people with Tony, at least 10. So I want to see you with Tony. I want to see you with Tony. Okay, gather around Tony, that's enough. Just see each other. No, you can already go, but just a second. See the Tony group, okay, you just notice who you are. And, oh, sorry.
Tell them where to go, because you go down the steps, turn right.
Yes, so the coffee break and the sales activity is happening outside. Tony and his group only. You can go outside, go down the stairs and then right. And then you can pick coffee. And the important thing, by the end of the time, you will need to present an idea together, right?
How long do we have?
You have half an hour for a break and then another 20 minutes. So we have until 5 with the break, yes. Okay, first group, you can go out.
Can I say something about logistics? So everybody, Tony, before you go, just to explain to everybody, we are going to outside where the coffee is, so you can take the coffee and then do a group sale in the same place on the right of the steps. So every group just goes outside in the coffee area.
Okay, so let's move ahead. I want another facilitator to stand up. Another sales facilitator. Me, who? Berta. Okay, so Berta will also take a paper. The papers for the facilitators are there on the top. And who wants to be with Berta? Berta, stand up, come with Berta. Yeah, at least 10, not more than 15. Look, Berta, she has lovely pants. Great. Great. Not too many, okay. Berta's group can there's the talking giraffe and there is the silent giraffe. Okay. So what I say sometimes is whatever you have is perfect. Yeah. Whatever you have is perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect. Whatever you have is perfect. No need to make it more perfect because it's already perfect. Okay. I'm going. We are a bit over time, but we will catch up by being very present and precise. And I want to share first that this is the sales. Whatever the process was for you, we will have a moment to reflect on that with Eve and Calypso. We're going to take it as part of the process. So to say first that tomorrow, whatever you got, your idea, your motto, your design, you will find the time in the new space to translate it to the fabric. So you'll need to actually cut the fabric or draw your sail, yeah, and to write it. And it's a collective action that we will take to the last day, to the PNIX, where we are going to share our sails in the PNIX, okay? So it continues. Without talking too much, I'm going to invite the group which feels less ready to share where they are, what they got, yeah? So it's always better to start when you're not ready. Yes. What?
There's a very ready group here.
Okay.
Who would like to tell us how you talk to in your group?
Microphone, please.
And what were your sentences, your thoughts? Report for your group? And the big question, did you even manage to reach a consensus on anything, on a sentence, a drawing? And who would like to come up with, tell us?
Yes.
There you go. When you speak for the first time, say your name.
Hello. My name is Adela Petrashkova, and we are representing our idea of how would visually look the Democratic Odyssey. As you might see, there is a sentence or a motto that it's all about people and their direction, because we are all on one boat and we all have a direction. Maybe some of us have a different direction, but every one of us wants to be on the right direction, and and everything in the democracy. And when you are on a boat with someone, with many people, for example, it's always about people, because us people, we are making the world. We are making the democracy. And for the pictures...
Can you describe it, please? Because there are people online and they don't see.
Yeah, I know. There is a compass because of the directions. We have north, east, south, and west. The north is for friendship, because we all should be friends and have a good relations between each other. East is for hope, because nothing is impossible. Nothing is possible without hope. Right. And
so, these people of this group, you can also stand or raise your hand so we can see you, the people of this group. Yeah. Woohoo!
Please continue. Please continue.
And for the West, there is world, because every one of us is living on the same world. And finally, for the South, there is Odyssey, because this is Democratic Odyssey. And also, we have a part of a tree with leaves and a bird. And that represents nature and love for animals and everything that is living in the world with us people. Thank you.
Stay there. Can you tell us?
You remember Hope, Pandora? This is all very important and perhaps something to say already now. One of the missions of our assembly will be to think about how we bring in the absence. So Adelka spoke about the trees and the animals. I mean, they don't have our language, but how do we represent them like we're their lawyers? How do we have a river be present in our conversation? So this is something we will want to think later about. Many, many things, and so much thank you. Shall we take another group? I see that one of you has, say your name, where you're from.
My name is Paweł Pacławski. I'm from Poland. I was born here. So I have been put in a group with 15 amazing people. We came together to send a message to everyone. So basically, I believe, personally, I believe that they try to keep us divided, you know, as people. We shouldn't be afraid of one another. We should motivate each other to better our lives. You know, we are in a ship together. And those people, you know, in the power, they try to sink the ship. And we as citizens, as people, simple beings, simple humans, we just try to make our bread, you know, to feed our family, our children, our moms, fathers, grandparents, and many generations to come. And they try to make our lives harder. And they do it by lots of means, by not having, you know, money, lots of money, and to think materialistically. You know, it's all about emotions. You know, I'm Polish. My parents were migrated from Poland because of communism back then, 30 years ago, and they came here for a better life. But for the past 20 years, since 2004, I believe, the euro, which they gave so much money, Greece has gone downhill. And even though I'm Polish and I was born here in Greece, you know, I love Greece. You know, it's one of the most beautiful countries in the world. The philosophy, the mindset of the Greek person, I think it's amazing. And, you know, they don't tell us lots of things. They try to make us, you know, like jealous of one another. They try to... They overcomplicate things, I believe, and we should stay united, and we do it by talking to one another, by not shying away. For example, now I'll go to what we have done as a group. So we did like a puzzle. So in this puzzle, each thought of every member of the group. So I believe that everyone has to be heard. Even though if you're shy, you can still talk. We'll give you the time to talk because you deserve to be heard. Not matter how shy, how talkative you are, you have the right to talk. You shouldn't be afraid to talk, to speak, to voice your opinion. You just keep going, you know. Yes, so our mission of our group, you know, we are here like 300 people now. Lots of online, lots of in houses now, lots of people are working. But I think the message is simple, you know, just to keep going, you know, don't give up. I know it sounds a bit cliche, but we should empower the other person because not everyone has good days. Everyone has good days and bad days. So whenever I have a good day and you have a bad day, we help each other. Whenever I have a bad day, have a good day, we should help each other once again, you know. And not everyone is right, not everyone is wrong, but you always need to speak up and tell your emotions. The more you hold them inside of you, that's where violence comes. Okay, I'll stop talking now. I will show you because yeah, okay.
People of this group, you can raise your hand.
We should stay serious. We should stay serious in this ship, you know, in the right direction. I don't care about the direction, but if we keep moving, you know, if we keep going forward, you know, that's it. You know, we don't go backwards. You just try and, you know, I tell people to fail. You have to fail to know.
The people of this group, can you raise your hand or stand? The people of this group.
This is our beautiful group.
Thank you for this group. And this sounds like a sail with a lot of power. The first sail had a lot of direction and compass, and then we have power. Yes, please.
Just to read you the motto of our. So communication keeps us united, not divided. And the reason we drew a puzzle here is because, I mean, we as people always try to come together. Sometimes we match, sometimes we don't. What we have in common, which keeps us together, is action, hope, liberty, peace. So these are the values that actually bring us all together. And sometimes we can be a piece of puzzle, which is a bit further away and it's not part of the big picture. But we have to be welcoming and yeah, slowly we will come all together. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sorry to say that, but we have two persons that are in pain, which are the interpreters. So keep the microphone like this. Okay, you see me? The microphone needs to be like that. So if you, I see that you've seen me, because it's very annoying for me to go to every speaker and to ask the speaker to lower the microphone, because if you speak from here, it destroys their ears. And that's not nice, because we still need them tomorrow. So you've seen how you do it, okay? So you just put your hand like this and you don't move it, okay? But pay attention to them, because it's their health and it's the quality of the discussion here. Thank you.
So I'm going to ask another group to share, and I just invite you to accelerate a little bit when you share, but thank you so much. It was, yes, we have.
La camera, okay. Like this, okay.
Yeah, there could be feedback loop with the.
I feel like famous guy now. Okay. Ici c'est bon. So yes, thank you very much. It is very funny that we did our activity in French, and I'm going to present in English. At the same time, I'm not English speaker. I'm a Bambara speaker. So if you don't understand my English, it's not my fault. I'm sorry. So thank you very much for giving this opportunity to us to express our thought. We try to draw something very simple and nice. I'm going to show you slowly, like this. Maybe you will not understand now, but you can see.
Yeah, you can describe, or someone can describe it.
Voilà, Solo, tu peux venir attraper ça, s'il te plaît. So yes, what we did, we put Athens 2024. It means that today we are in Athens 2024. Me, Musa, my name Musa, and Solo is there, and Kamara from my group, and Yannick ici, et Lida. Where is Lida? And Lida. So we was thinking about the future of Europe in 2029. So one of our mottos is diversity is the future. And at the same time, we wrote here in big character, decolonize democracy, and democracy for all. This is what we believe and we want in 2029. And why we want the democracy to be decolonized, and why we want democracy for all? Because the democracy is not complete for us as a non-EU citizens. One of the things that we write, like example, is the right to vote. There is not right to vote for us because we did not have a citizenship, but at the same time, we have the same obligation as a Greek citizen of European. One of the examples that I can give you is that my bill. When I receive my electricity bill, I have the tax that I have to pay for the municipality, I have the tax that I have to pay for the TV, and many things. But at the same time, I don't have the right to choose the mayor. So what we dream in 2029, very soon, we want to have this right. This is one of our dreams. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. And also, we also ask in 2029, we want the respect of human rights. The respect of human rights means that we want freedom of speech, freedom of movement. Yesterday, the Greek police arrested a community member because he doesn't have the right paper. So now he's in detention. He just called me now. And we want this to stop in 2029, even before, even from now. This is one of our demands in this assembly. And another demand is that we want the citizenship for people, for kids who was born in EU soil, that they get automatically the citizenship process. At the same time, we live here for more than 10 years, the state have to facilitate the way that we got the citizenship. And also, we want also, one of our demands is to be able to vote, but also to be elected, even without citizenship. So we had a lot of demand. We didn't have time to write. I feel a little bit frustrated for that because a lot of things have to be said. But thank you very much for your time, for listening. And yeah, merci.
Another sale, I think it was a sale of stability and power. Yes, we have other.
Good luck.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Anthi. I'm okay. I'm with the Greek team. So we made the crossword with a few words that we thought that are the basic components which can lead to democracy. First, we have the organize. The second word is the hope. As the girl here said, that is the best. Then we have patience, quality, cooperation, sorry for my English, freedom, acceptance, democracy, and solidarity. Yes, and the main word, it's Odysseia from Democratic Odyssey. And we thought that all these components can lead to our destination, the Ithaki, which is the democracy, the real democracy. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing it in English. Yeah, thank you for sharing it in English. This next group.
Hello from Yoso. My name is Ifigenia Kleovoulou. This is our group. The way that we thought of our motto, and our motto is connecting people through respecting diversity and equality. And the way that we came up with this motto is with every one of us wrote down a keyword that was in their mind about democracy, about our life in every day. When we sum up the words respecting diversity and equality came up. Let's think about a little bit about the words, our keywords, respecting. We are a room full of people. We are very different from each other, but we have all of us the same thing. We have all a soul. And if we look for that soul and
forget about our color, our sexuality, where we're from, and everything. Everyone is the same. Every one of us is the same, and everyone is us. If we think that one person of us can act in a way that, in a butterfly effect, affects everyone. Diversity. I mean, look around the beautiful faces in this room. I'm not from here, I'm from Cyprus. We all can see that we're not from here, but it's a very beautiful assembly that connected every one of us. Because diversity, it's the way of living in the world nowadays. Every country, every city has people all around the world. And if we forget that, we live in solidarity and we are all alone. And actually, equality is one of, for me, most important words. But we don't have to forget that not everyone starts from the same point. We are not all equals from starting at the same point. Some of us have some privileges and some of us don't. We don't have to forget that. If we think that it's a ladder, we have to understand that somebody else next to us may come from a different step, a step from down the ladder, a step from above of us. If every one of us are holding hands, we can push some people up, and some people that are further up the ladder than us can help us to go up the ladder also. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you for all coming.
Okay, I'm Paweł, I'm from Poland, and we are so-called Tony's group. Group, show up. Where is the group?
Come on, hands up, hands up, hands up!
No, hands up! Okay, we have a very interesting discussion and very different ways our thoughts was going all around. Finally, we put something which is the phrase. I will read it. Empower people for active, inclusive participation in the decision for a sustainable and equitable future. And in fact, we discussed about it because we thought that now democracy in all countries in Europe shows that the people stays back. Many people stay back and don't participate. They don't just sometimes believe they can have influence. So we show the power for us is to figure out how we can empower people and which tools, which ways, how to organize it that they will be empowered to take the active role in, and influence the decision processes. Of course, it will be perhaps it will be the necessary of change on the politician level, that they will give the space. But it's just a start for us and idea to discuss around what the step would be the next. So that's it, simple. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. And please, when the group comes, you can also raise your hand, show yourself.
On the way that way. That way. Yeah. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. My name is Livia. I'm Italian, but I'm living here. I'm Italian, but I live in Athens. So we were in a group with Italians, Hungarians, Greeks, a lot of Greeks. And we divided in subgroups, and each group proposed a motto, like this one: listen deeply, express freely. It's not about the destination, but about the journey. Here to be heard. Together we are powerful, enjoy the journey. Someone proposed égalité, liberté, fraternité, solidarité, which is a little variation of the slogan of the French Revolution that everybody would know. They just added solidarité, which is often a forgotten concept along with fraternité. It's not really often applied. Then my group, some Hungarians, some Slovenians, and me, we proposed Vox Populi, the voice of the people in Latin. It's there's a famous saying, you know, Vox Populi, Vox Dei, the voice of the people is the voice of God. We proposed it in a shortened form, but in the end, the motto that won was the one proposed by the Greeks, philia, friendship. And this got the most votes when we voted which motto we should choose for the whole group.
Yes, and this is our sign. It's composed of an olive branch, which is a symbol of friendship and peace. Yes. And also the star is composed of the fingers of the victory. If we unite the two fingers in different ways, we come up with this symbol. And this is our candidacy for the first prize, I hope so.
Can we ask you, this is the symbol of victory and friendship. Well, what a motto. For all of you now to reflect a bit on starting with you, on the process. How did you manage in such little time to agree on a phrase, a drawing, a group of people who don't know each other?
Yes,
Didn't have that much time, you had the coffee queue, and yet you agreed. How did that happen? Did you vote?
Yes, we voted with crosses. Each candidate had got 2 crosses to offer.
You voted?
To draw. Yes,
Okay.
so we used the old system of the vote.
Which
with a
is?
cross.
Cross.
Yes,
Okay, and it wasn't anonymous. People came and did a cross.
yes.
Excellent. So we will be reflecting on this as we go along. How do we make decisions together? Well, thank you for this group.
Thank you very much.
And perhaps, I think there is another group, and maybe now you can start telling what your group did, and also how did you agree? How did you come to agree?
Hello, my name is Alexis. I'm from Cyprus. We were a small group, so it wasn't very difficult to agree. We were 4 or 5 people. And our motto is People Matter. From what we saw in the last 12 years, Europe is not operating with people as a priority. So we want to have people as priority. And our mottos are your opinion matters, equal opportunities for everyone, écoutez nous, listen to us, and we have the ancient Greek masks, sad face and the happy face. A sad face can be a happy face again. That was our...
Thank you. Écoutez-nous. Listen to us. We shall speak. Any
I
other
will.
group that wants to report?
Just behind you, sorry.
Oh.
Am I holding it in a good... Oh, cool, okay. Sorry, we haven't made any paintings about that, but I think good presentations are not memorable because of the extras, it's because of the voice. So now you can only listen to me, and probably you will remember.
Give us your name again.
Okay.
What's your name again?
I'm Andras, sorry, from Hungary. I haven't introduced myself, what a shame. We haven't made the motto finally. We were just really in the process about how we should really make our different opinions united. And because of that, we wrote different variations of the motto. One was reflected on that ship phenomenon, but we also left the Earth behind, and we were like an aircraft in the space, and we wanted to move beyond the moon. So I think that was one of our motto ID. That's also really interesting. The others were really more about that how we should be here, how we should show strength, and how we can active with careness to each other. And finally, I think what can unite really our different ideas is something about that, of course, we have a lot of debates. We should hear each other. But after that, we should step forward, move forward, and do something, to be active, not just about debating, but also about creating something together. And during that, we should also listen to each other. And that was my motto ID, was about to readiness in careness. So be active with taking care of each other, taking care of their opinion, listen to their voices, and then do something which can create a better community, which can create a better future for us. That's all what I wanted to say.
So if we understand this group, you didn't reach an agreement. You didn't try to come up with some, maybe there's not enough time. Sometimes in democracy or in decision making, it's just a problem of time. Or maybe not, maybe you didn't want to agree. You wanted to stay in your diversity. Maybe. So tell us, perhaps now that we've heard all the groups, can you say something about did you agree? How did you agree?
And my mic was off. I'm sorry about it. So.
Dama.
Yes.
From where?
I'm from here. I live here, but I'm from Kafkas. I'm mixed, so I don't even know where I'm from. Since I remember, I was traveling with my family, then alone. Anyways, so the important module of our kind of workshop with my colleagues was to find a common ground with everyone's ideas, because only voting cannot benefit us. Because even now we're voting. Democracy is having your say and reaching to a destination which everyone agrees on. So in our team, my friend, he had an idea about nature and animals. So we said, add it also. She had a compass in her mind. So we added a compass. Like this, we collided, we gathered all the ideas, and we came to an outcome. Same thing we want for our children, for us. Because democracy doesn't mean you vote and somebody else is going to take your decision. Even a minor member of the society should have a say, and that's why we vote. But what we vote for, the decisions are not in our benefit. Today, everybody knows in this hall, we don't have a say in the governmental decisions, in the wars going on, and the inflation rising. Nobody has a say. So just like we collided and we kind of gathered our ideas to find a common ground and common idea, just like the ship. We're on that ship, but we're not in control of its destination. We don't know where it's going. Someone else is taking us. So just like this, we collided our ideas and we find a common ground and shared our ideas, and we got a result. So the same way, we want a future and we want a democracy, the real one, not that we have now. I know it's better, I shouldn't say this, but we want this. So everyone's opinion counts, and every idea counts, and every soul counts. That's it.
So from this group, we learned that voting is not the magical solution for democracy. It's not the only thing. There are other ways of doing things together and deciding together. Other ways of deciding together in your other groups that are different from what you heard.
Okay, thank you very much. In our cases, bravo. So in our cases, it was there was not conflict when we was deciding because we come from the same background. We are all refugees, migrants. So when we was thinking about future of Europe, what we wanted, everything that we happened. I have to do like this. Okay. So, okay, I have to speak like politician. Okay. And
Try to look at everybody at the same time.
yeah, yeah. The former Ministry of Migration who was here said that democracy is perfect, and he was giving a lot of examples how Greek create democracy and things. We do agree of the concept of democracy, but what we don't agree is like the democracy is not for all. This is one thing that we in our group, we were sure that democracy was not for all. That is why we said we should decolonize democracy. And of course, I agree with my brother said that democracy is not only for vote. It's true, it's not only for vote. There's a lot of things. There is consultation, not only for vote. So at the same time, I was agree with Mr. from Demos Atinon that said that we should renovate a democracy. And this is what we want. This is what we believe, that renovating democracy is including refugees and migrants in decision-making process. It is to give the right to vote. It is to give the right to be elected also. When you have the right to be elected, you can change a policy, you can involve, you can bring your idea, and then we see that the democracy will be completed. Also, we should also involve young people and everybody in the decision-making table. So for us, we didn't have a conflict because we feel that we need citizenship, we need the right to vote, we need also that when our kids who are born here, they struggle to have citizenship here. Especially in Greece, I have some friends that got citizenship last year after 42 years. They was born here, they study here in Greece, they have never left Greece. Everything that they did in this country, and they just get citizenship 42 years after. This is what we want to change. That is why we agree easily about those concepts. Thank you.
Thank you to remind us that the demos is not yet finished and need to be improved, as you described it very well by having everybody on board. This is what we are doing here. But thank you for your words.
Yeah, the idea of the assembly is very good. We will support the project. Thank you.
There will be more opportunities to talk. Yes, about the process. How was it in your group?
I saw a person over there.
Can you join the middle of the arena? Or you talk from here, please.
1, 2? Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone.
Microphone.
I'm a latecomer, but it's fine. Here? Oh, sorry. Okay. My turn, or how do I talk?
As you want, you talk to the group. It's not, you need to move.
Whatever.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nikki from Nigeria, born and raised in Greece, so I'm also Greek. I wasn't here at the beginning of the conversation, but I just wanted to highlight the fact that I personally believe that democracy is a demonstration of grace. Grace means being crazy. So there is this singer who's a very known Nigerian artist. He's called Fela, and that's exactly how he defines democracy. And the reason why I define democracy as a demonstration of grace is because we live in a system that is dragging us from a narrative that we are not used to. Like, everyone is working 9 to 5, we don't have time, we want to pay our bills. I literally came here from work and I was running and I was like, what's happening? But I think the most important thing in this craziness is you getting out of your comfort zone. Because to some extent, everyone has their privileges and not privileges. But if you don't expose yourself to that craziness, you're never going to move forward. So I had to leave my work and come here and do something about it. That doesn't mean that things are going to change. But at least that idea of working with that craziness of democracy, it helps. And I also think that the concept of diversity and all of us being equal, I also disagree with it. And the reason why I disagree is because if we were all equal, we wouldn't be here today. And if we were all the same, we would still not be here. We would just continue working, acting as normal people. So I just believe that it's important to know that this world is crazy, and you work according to that craziness for the benefit of your home, of your soul, and of the people around you. But that deserves solidarity, and that doesn't come if you don't expose yourself to other people that you don't know or that you know.
And so this aspect of going out of the comfort zone, how does it apply to the group here? You.
Well, that's exactly what they did. Some people traveled from other countries, some people came from their work, some people didn't go to work. I don't know if there are students here who didn't go to school today. So I think someone, to some extent, we got out of our comfort zone by leaving the responsibilities we're already used to. Because let's not forget that we're living in a capitalist system that is forcing us to do this, so you can't really escape it. So the more you try to escape it in any way, it helps, even if it's for a minute or for an hour or for a day.
3 days.
3 days, yeah.
Thank you very much. So interesting, fascinating about this lecture of democracy. Is there a group where you met disagreements so far? Not agreeing?
Maybe not agreement, but the Calypso asked the question how we proceed.
Yes.
So our statement was empowering people for active and inclusive participation, so on. And it's in fact in course of work of our group. It's not by accident, because empowering and inclusive was very important in our work. I feel like that, because everybody put, first of all, this proposal. Then we ask everybody, okay, what do you mean behind this? And then we try to put one sentence which will incorporate the meaning, not the phrase, but the meaning of the phrase which everybody proposed. I know that maybe it's not 100% perfect, and we have at the end some difficulties to say, okay, it's 100% sure, but it's close.
So you started by individual statement, then explanation of the statement, and then finding common ground.
And find the common ground and common statement which we must incorporate. Because, for example, communication. If it's inclusive participation, should be communication. So
don't speak so fast. Don't speak too. Say it again. Slower. No, speak slower.
Okay. Slower. Okay. So because somebody said, okay, for me it's important communication. So we agree that inclusive participation doesn't exist without communication. So we agreed, okay, it incorporates what the person brings to us. So say, okay, it's okay. So it was a very interesting process. So we don't argue, maybe some of us arguments, and we try to, okay, so what you propose differently.
And it was a consensus, everybody agreed in the group. After the writing of the sentence,
it was
a consensus.
We are writing the sentence in a lifetime, so we put one other word. So
by discussing.
It was very interesting because we saw each other for the first time in our life in different countries. And
for the first time in your life, what?
We see each other for the first time.
Ah, yeah, of course.
It's very interesting that we can
group,
work like that.
Of course, yes. Thank you. So
one big challenge of this assembly is its multilingualism. I mean, we have 20 languages in this assembly. The simultaneous translation is from English to Greek. And then we haven't heard from Greek to English. All the other smaller languages, they're not small languages, but you're smaller groups. There's some of you will speak in Italian or Polish, but you have people translating next to you. Whisper language, whisper translation. But what we want to do now is suggest that if someone wants to express themselves in Greek, but not everybody else has earphones to hear and understand the Greeks. So for our translators, we will rely on Myrto to speak in the microphone a translation so someone can express themselves in Greek. We don't have the other direction.
Αν θέλει και κάποιος άλλος Έλληνας να πει κάτι, έρχεται μετά και βοηθάω. Καλησπέρα σε όλους. Λέγομαι Ελένη, είμαι από την Ελλάδα. Εμείς φτιάξαμε την Οδύσσια. Her name is Eleni, she's from Greece, and she says hello, and we made as a group, because we had the Greek group, the Odyssey. Η Οδύσσια λοιπόν συμπεριέλαβε όλους εμάς. Όμως, για να φτάσουμε κάπου στην Ιθάκη, πρέπει να συμπεριλάβουμε ένα μεγάλο ταξίδι. Μια μεγάλη ρότα που λένε οι ναυτικοί στην Ελλάδα. So the Odyssey includes all of us, but to get to Ithaca, our destination, we have the journey, which is what is important. Όλοι εμείς ποιοι είμαστε? Οι πολίτες όλων των κρατών της Ευρώπης και μη Ευρώπης, οι οποίοι αποτελούμε όλο αυτό που βλέπουμε σήμερα. Όλη αυτή την ποικιλομορφία, όλο αυτό το ταξίδι που θέλουμε να κάνουμε μέσα στη δημοκρατία. So we, the citizens, are representing Europe, and this is exactly what we see here. We see the differences that we have, the diversity that we have among us, and the different faces and the different backgrounds and the differences that bring us all together. Είμαι πολύ χαρούμενη που βρίσκομαι με όλους εσάς μαζί. Είναι η πρώτη φορά που βρίσκομαι εδώ και σας ευχαριστώ όλους που με ακούσατε. Εμείς με δημοκρατικές διαδικασίες βγάλαμε το μότο μας. So she's very thankful that she's here with all of you and that you heard her speak and her opinion. And she stressed that in our group, it was a very democratic process that led us to the results that we presented. Thank you. Κάποιος άλλος Έλληνας? Όχι. Εσύ?
Γεια σας, λέγομαι Βασιλική. Αυτό που θα ήθελα να πω σχετικά με την Οδύσσια, το σημαντικό είναι να υπάρχει ελπίδα, όραμα και πάνω απ' όλα στόχος.
Το όνομά σου? Her name is Vasiliki, so hello from Vasiliki. The important thing about the Odyssey is the journey, which has to include hope, ελπίδα, στόχο, vision, and a very specific goal.
Η βάση όλων αυτών είναι η ειρήνη. Και όσοι συμφωνείτε για την ειρήνη, χειροκροτήστε. Ευχαριστώ.
We'll have more now. The basis of all of this, the binding factor is peace. So anybody who's agreeing with peace should applaud, and you can applaud again. Thank you.
Γεια σας, είμαι η Ιωνέλα. Δεν είμαι από την Ελλάδα, είμαι από την Αλβανία, αλλά ζω τα 25 μου χρόνια στην Ελλάδα.
Ionella. Her name is Ionella. She originally comes from Albania, but she's been living here for 25 years. She's Greek.
Yeah. Half. Yeah. Yeah, I feel Greek, also Albanian. But I learned all these years in Greek that I don't have rights in this city, in this country. Έχω μόνο... Sorry, I speak both languages, okay. Έχω μόνο υποχρεώσεις, γιατί πληρώνω φόρους, γιατί είμαι σωστή πολίτης σε όλα μου, αλλά I don't have rights.
We
feels that she doesn't have rights, although she has many obligations. She pays all the taxes. She's okay with all of her obligations as a citizen in this country, like the rest of us, but she misses on any of our rights that we Greeks enjoy.
Okay, let's say that after some years, I got study here and everything, so I'm okay. I'm Greek right now. But my parents still are Albanians, and they can't vote. They don't have rights. They stay here 25 years also, and they still try to make their papers so they are legal in this country. And they have also a house here that they bought with their own money, but they don't have rights and they don't have papers. So, also, something else that I want to say, it's like that in Greece, what happens in Greece, stay in Greece. Every day we hear for women, sorry, that they are victims. Every day, a woman in Greece just died because her husband just want to kill her. Because I don't know why, but nobody says something about this. Another topic. There are people in wheels. Yeah, disabled people. They couldn't come here. There are only stairs outside. So, where is the equality? Equality, yeah, sorry. Where is the equality? So where is the democracy? For who? For able peoples? For people that are okay, that they can walk? Or, yeah.
There's no sign language interpretation. There's no sign language interpretation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
We tried the sign language. Yes.
Οπότε μιλάμε για ισότητα, την οποία δεν τη βλέπουμε πουθενά. Οπότε στην Ελλάδα... I forgot another topic. Yeah, of course. The trains. Ήταν ένα τρένο πριν 1 χρόνο. Δεν θυμάμαι. Το οποίο πήγαιναν οι φοιτητές στις φοιτητικές τους πόλεις να σπουδάσουν.
Another story that shows the inequality in Greece is the story less than a year ago, was it? Or a year ago? Less than a year ago. 8 months. Then in March, right? March. That had many students that were traveling from Athens to Thessaloniki, the other major city.
Και αυτό το τρένο, από ανθρώπινο λάθος, just crashed ένα εμπορικό τρένο και χιλιάδες άτομα. Όλοι νέα παιδιά, το αύριο της Ελλάδας, το αύριο της Ευρώπης, το αύριο του κόσμου, απλά πέθαναν μέσα σε μια νύχτα.
So there was, I mean, you've heard about this, there was a horrible train crash and hundreds of people, young people, the tomorrow, what we are striving for Greece, for Europe, for the world, which is the future of through these young people, have tragically died.
Οπότε ας σκεφτούμε ξανά όλες αυτές τις όμορφες λέξεις που γράψαμε και ας σκεφτούμε ξανά σε αυτό το πλοίο που θέλουμε κάπου να πάει, κάπου καλύτερα ότι θα είναι αρκετά βαρύ αυτό το πλοίο, γιατί θα κουβαλάει όλες αυτές τις μνήμες και τις αναμνήσεις. Οπότε ας ελπίσουμε να πάει κάπου καλά για να μην ξαναγίνουν αυτά τα πράγματα.
So let's remember all of this when we have these discussions and we use these wonderful words that we've been using today, and make sure that the ship that we are on and we're sailing on towards a better future, to remember that it's a heavy ship, it carries a lot of bad memories and bad experiences. Let's hope that it goes somewhere better without them. Yes? Thank you.
Thank you, Jonella, for speaking so truthfully and speaking your truth. Μια λεπτά.
Wants to say 2 words, can he?
Ελάτε. 2, ναι. Ελάτε.
Ίσως στα ελληνικά και θα μεταφράσω.
Ελληνικά, ναι.
Θα μεταφράσω.
Εντάξει.
Αλλά πολύ λίγο, γιατί αργάσουμε τώρα και...
Ακούσαμε πολλά πράγματα. Εδώ. Ακούσαμε πολλά πράγματα για τους απλούς άνθρωπους. Γιατί εγώ σκέφτομαι είναι από το μεσαίο τάξη μέχρι κάτω. Εδώ πέρα. Δεν είναι οι πλούσιοι. Αυτό που λέμε εδώ τώρα, όπως είπε ο Καυκάζο, αυτός που μίλησε πριν, είμαστε σε ένα πλοίο. Πού πάει αυτό το πλοίο, ποιος είναι καπετάνιος σε αυτό το πλοίο, ποιος θα το ακούσει αυτό που λέμε εδώ, θα πάει αυτή η φωνή από εκεί βούληση.
This is a question for you. So this is, he's wondering, this is a representation of some social groups, not all of them, perhaps not the upper class, they're not here. So he's wondering, where is this ship with all of us and the messages that we carry going? How will the people that are not here, the policymakers, maybe even the higher social groups, listen to us, and what exactly will happen?
Thank you for the question. And this is probably the most important question. But the way we're going to discuss together, the way we're capable of getting out of our comfort zone, as was said so brilliantly earlier, will also determine the quality of our message. And the idea of the Odyssey is that you will all write messages. In fact, we will be helped by AI tomorrow, and we will have ways of aggregating and bringing together many of your messages. We will also have ways to focus, because right now we are voicing big ideas, big hopes, and big fears about democracy. We heard about the dark side of our society, but what do we do about that, and how do we convey what we want to do? We don't have a magic wand, the navigators, the team. We have many ideas, but it doesn't happen like that. We have many friends in political circles who are interested, but we are not only speaking to higher politicians. We want you to be able to speak to citizens across borders. And we want to imagine a way in which a citizen, Albanian citizen living in Athens, can speak to a Lithuanian citizen, a Portuguese citizen, a Pakistani citizen, a citizen from Ghana. How do we create these conversations among ourselves? Because if we only address the top, we don't have so much power. If we only address the top, we don't have enough power. So it's first addressing each other so that together we can have more power. And this is what we want to investigate in the next 2 days together. So the first thing we would like to say is, as you speak, we listen, you listen to each other, we register. We have a digital platform in 10 languages. So if any of you has not gone to the digital platform, it's very exciting, because you read things, but you can comment. This is where a lot of the debates will happen. Not everything can happen here, in plenary or in small groups. as we move along, we will exchange in many languages on that platform. I just want to show you that we've already reacted to a lot of what you put in writing. We had many of you, about 120 or 30, came to different onboarding. You wrote in the chat. You also filled a questionnaire, and we encourage you to continue to fill the questionnaire. Closer, it's the magic distance. So, for instance, we read how, and we heard also today down there, why you came also to meet people across border. What do we do with the fact that you speak across borders? And then we also asked you, Max, next slide. We asked you in the questionnaire which crisis you want to deal with, you're thinking about. What is the experience that is most important to you? This is what we are going to talk about tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning, you will go to the University of Business and Economics of Athens. So it's a very nice place, but it doesn't have ceilings like this and paintings like that. Yes, if you want to take photos, it's today and Sunday at the PNIC. Tomorrow, we are in working mode. And the working mode will be to gather your experiences and try to see differences and commonalities and the solutions that you want to address in terms of how we take decisions together, how we address our governments, how we think about the ways in which a crisis, a moment of disruption, can open some doors and close some doors for your own dignity, empowerment, freedom. We will have smaller group discussions, but maybe just here, as we're going to walk out in a moment from this beautiful place, this is some of what we captured many things already from your questionnaire, but you can see that you talked, of course, we are in Greece, about the euro crisis and what happened and what to do about it. In terms of democracy, you talked about, of course, and very importantly, not a metaphorical war, but the real war. We have with us today a number of friends from Ukraine. I would like you to raise your arm, your friends from Ukraine, over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I think that Greeks here, or those living in Athens, have been very grateful to be able to welcome you here, as Greeks welcomed so many refugees in 2015, 2016, 2017. But that is also a crisis. In general, how do you bring people from other countries here who take refuge? So we will talk about that crisis. How do we decide what we do? So it's not just a crisis. How do we decide? What needs to change in Europe? If you think about your experience of crisis, what needs to change to do things better, to make Europe more resilient, to make Europe better address future crises? All day we will have different ways of talking about this. And just to list the other crises, of course, many of you speak about climate, especially the young, about COVID. Everybody. Is there anyone in this room who didn't experience COVID? Anyone here who didn't go through lockdown and maybe who was in a lucky country? No. Maybe you did not experience COVID, Ivanka. Well, that's cool. Why? No COVID? No, you didn't have COVID, but okay, so, and then many of you spoke about floods, wildfire, homelessness, housing. There are all sorts of ways in which we can understand crisis. How are we going to focus our conversation tomorrow? That is the challenge. And we will come back to this tomorrow, but in between, already other things will happen. So I will leave it at that because tomorrow we will be in smaller groups, groups of 15 people, all morning. And then we will do more in the afternoon, including some work around theater. So that being said, as we slowly prepare to close this session, Nicolo, you have a number of things to add, and then we will turn to Mirto to give us our marching orders, because Mirto knows how to tell us what to do in walking around Athens.
Thanks, Calypso. So, we're coming to the end of our work today. I'm learning how to use the mic by the end of the day. I'm going to ask for a few more minutes' attention, but I'm going to be very brief. So firstly, what is it we managed to achieve today? At the end of the day, reflect on what we achieved. We managed to launch a permanent People's Assembly for Europe. That's not such a bad achievement for an afternoon. We did it by coming together with our different experiences, our different histories, and taking this time. And we know that time is a luxury because, as was just mentioned, many people don't have the time, people living in wars and in other kinds of crises, but wars not only in Ukraine, but in other parts of the world as well that have been mentioned this afternoon. So we take the luxury of having this peaceful time together to discuss. And what did we discuss? Well, we discussed two kinds of things that we're going to continue to work on together. One, we talked a bit about where it is we want to go. The desirable world, I heard already, demands that we want to make as a People's Assembly to make the world better. We talked about this. But we also talked, and it's very important at the beginning, about how is it we are going to work together and discuss together and decide things together. We're creating a permanent People's Assembly. We need to think about how is it going to work. How do we discuss? And we're going to try, all of us together, to adapt the way that we function and improve over time. Because not every day, probably, will be as easy as today. You might be thinking it was a tough day. It was a tough day. Lots of information, lots of new people. But also, probably, in a People's Assembly, we'll discuss topics that may even be divisive, that people have very different opinions about, and we'll need to find ways of discussing about that and coming to some consensus. So we started to do these three things today. Already an enormous achievement, I would say, for an afternoon. And I want to thank everybody who was involved in doing it. Then I have 6 important announcements of a much more practical nature. So, the first announcement is, you should have received an email over the past hour or so from the team at EUI about which working group you are in tomorrow. You need to know that working group when you arrive to the venue tomorrow, because you will go to a room where that group is meeting. So you need to look in your emails, it'll be group 1, 2, 3, but you need to know that information when you arrive tomorrow. Okay? Of course, if you don't know when you arrive tomorrow, someone will tell you. But it will be easier if there's only a few people who don't know and everybody else check the emails. Okay? So look in the emails for which group you're in. That was point number 1. Point number 2 is about the per diems. All of the members of the Assembly are receiving a per diem payment in different ways. This will be sorted out tomorrow, over the day. Okay? So you have questions about that, it will be dealt with tomorrow, because there's more time tomorrow than today. Clear? Third announcement. If you have difficulties with understanding the languages, and we know this is tricky in such a diverse group, then we can find solutions if you come and tell us about it. So come and say, we need help with this language or this language. Then we can find some solutions in the group. So don't hesitate to tell us about that. That was the third thing. Fourth thing. Tomorrow evening, there will be a festival, a democracy festival, as you know. there is going to be some singing involved for people who would like in that festival. There's an initiative to make a choir to sing about democracy. Here, Christian is holding up some QR codes that you can scan. They're also on the screens. You could also come and see Christian or Diana about taking part in that choir if you like singing about democracy. That was the fourth announcement. There's only a couple more. The fifth, yes.
On singing, the master of singing is Stefano. Stefano. And Stefano is over there. Can you all see it? Wave again, Stefano. And indeed, throughout, starting now, when you come out, and if you're in with Stefano, you could even rehearse singing with Stefano walking in the street, attracting attention. So find Stefano, and then there will be more singing at the festival tomorrow, and perhaps even at the picnics, but find Stefano.
So lots of opportunities for singing. Next announcement, we're coming to the end. Next announcement is, in order to be able to communicate easily with as many of you as possible, the idea is to create a WhatsApp group. If people want to join it, you don't have to join it. If you want to join a group of the People's Assembly, this code allows you to join the WhatsApp group. It will enable us to communicate much more easily. And then lastly, there's what's going to happen this evening. Yes, just before that.
Before talking about the logistics of this evening, and please all join the WhatsApp if you can, that's very important. But also, if you don't have it already on, those of you who have smartphones, please download a Translate app. Google app, DeepL, you can help each other with that because we have a buddy system. So it's very important that you also remember your buddy system. The two people you met earlier, above all, that Athenians or people living in Athens connect with a transnational person and help them in the streets if you get lost and all of that, okay? But when you do that, maybe you will not be with, maybe the Greek person might not speak good English or vice versa. So please make sure you have your translation app in your phone. It will be important as we move along.
Okay, then this evening, there is an exhibition tour in Greek and English of a show on art and the end of dictatorship here in Greece, and a buffet dinner, and some Greek music, and probably some singing as well, by the sounds of it. And it's important that you know where you have to go for this great evening event, and I believe that Nicole is going to be able to explain that, both in English and in Greek.
Okay, can you hear me? So the venue is correctly stated on the agenda that you have in the bag that you've received today, and it's the Eleftherias Park. It's located right next to the Athens Concert Hall, and you can take the metro station that's called Megaro Mousikis, and there will be people there to help you and guide you to the park. And it starts at 7:30 this evening. Θα υπάρχει δείπνο το βράδυ στο Πάρκο Ελευθερίας. Η ατζέντα, η σωστή, είναι αυτή που έχετε μέσα στις σακούλες σας. Είναι δίπλα στο Μέγαρο Μουσικής και θα κατέβετε σταθμός Μέγαρο Μουσικής και θα υπάρχει εκεί κόσμος να σας καθοδηγήσει.
Thanks, Nicole. So, just a few more seconds of your attention, everybody, because I'm sure you wanted to hear where you can get food and drink this evening, which you just heard the instructions about. I think those instructions, as we mentioned, are correct on the printed program as well. I know that Tiona has an announcement as well. That's important. Tiona?
Thanks, Nicola. So just before you leave, just one more small thing. Thank you. Thank you. So there is a filmmaker who is trying to capture what we are doing here today and to follow our journey. And he will be taking statements from a few of the participants. So I wanted to ask you if there is anyone who's interested. It's a very short statement just to say how do you feel after this first day and what are you looking forward in these next days. So just very short, just a couple of sentences. If you are interested, please come to me after you finish. Okay. And back to Nicola. But thanks again for being here.
Can I just add, this is the most important. There will be food and drinks. I'm bad with this, huh? There will be food and drinks. Porumena Toromeki. Simpatico. And this evening is under the auspices of the mayor of Haris-Dukas and the municipality. And we also want to express our gratefulness and thanks for that. So please come to Parco Eleftherias, and if you come at 7:30, we'll wait for you, but there will be this lovely tour of this fantastic exhibit, because it so happens that Greece is commemorating the 50th anniversary of the end of the dictatorship in this country. So it's on very much the theme of our conversation. And it's an exhibit where there'll be a tour guide from the municipality, and from the exhibit, we're right next to the food. So all good things come together. So thank you for being here, and we will see you over there.